having technical difficulties, but let's begin. This is good enough for me to start. Thank you very much for joining. My name is Tigran. I'm the founder of AML Incubator. We call ourselves AMLI. I have no idea where that nickname came from. I think one of our clients actually just said AMLI just for ease, and it kind of sticked. I'm going to talk about the dark side of DeFi. Let's begin. So crypto's promise is transparency and freedom, but that freedom comes with risk. So let's talk about what our company does, who we are. Okay, AML Incubator is a fractional compliance outsourcing firm. We're not lawyers, but partners in regulatory navigation and financial crime mitigation. We have been around for a couple of years, and the whole notion of AMLI was born out of the unmet market need for professionals within the space, and desire to be in the space as well. Okay. Session guidelines and disclaimer. This presentation is for educational purposes only and does not constitute legal, financial, or investment advice. We are not lawyers. Please consult with qualified legal professional for any advice specific to your situation. Feel free to post your questions in the chat. We'll pause periodically to address them during the session. We ask everyone to remain respectful throughout the session. Any discriminatory, disruptive, or inappropriate behavior will result in immediate removal from the call. This presentation is being recorded and will be shared in the public domain. By staying in the session, you consent to being part of the recording environment. Thank you very much for joining. Let's begin. The whole session would consist into several parts. Some educational material that I want some of us to have, which might be a repetition for you if you are within the space, and then some interesting stuff that I want you to see. It would be both entertaining and interesting at the same time. So what is compliance really? Ensuring your business doesn't become a laundering tool, an anti-money laundering, a KYC, KYB, anything related. It has very broad aspect to it. Who are the compliance officers? Who are the chief compliance officers? Who are chief anti-money laundering officers? Who are the professionals within the space? I would like to briefly talk about it, okay? The AML compliance officers is more than a role. It's a duty to society. In a world where dirty money fuels terrorism, trafficking, and corruption, they are the firewall between dark money and the legitimate financial system. This is the professional who wakes up every day to fight an invisible war, a war against money launderers, shell games, criminals trying to exploit the system. They are the intelligence officer in the financial war room, decoding suspicious patterns, flagging nefarious flows, and standing between the vulnerable and those who exploit. Quick thing that I need to mention is the following. Currently, compliance officer's role is looked at as an individual that is protecting the company from the regulators, making sure that the company is not violating any obligations that they have with the regulator. That is not the case, as at the same time, it's part of the job, but that's not the main idea of the compliance professional. A real compliance professional's main duty is to protect the company, the employees of the company, and public in general. And during our presentation, I'll show you why it matters. So why compliance is a defense mechanism? It actually stops crimes before they start, shields community trust, prevents lawsuits and regulatory takedowns, protects everyone within the society. Look into this small investigation that was done several years ago, okay? It's a crypto transaction. For those who don't know, a small transaction coming from one wallet to the other, and 2 or 3 hubs away, ends up with a wallet previously identified to be belonging to a organization that is designated as a terrorist. Okay? So a report usually would be created for these instances and sent to the regulator. When that happens, years later, you would see articles similar to this. Charges laid against an Islamic State financier in Canada's terrorist financing investigation. Or this one. Let's have a look at this one. On May 12, 2025, at the Superior Court of Justice in Toronto, an individual at Toronto pled guilty of 2 charges related to the largest terrorist financing scheme in Canadian history. Okay? So, as you can see, a small investigation can lead to potential prosecution. And we don't know the true intent behind. And this is why our occupation does matter. Okay? What are the proceeds of crime and money laundering? This might be a repetition for some of you. However, I would like to give this information really quick. For those who know, great. For those who don't, I would like to introduce you to this, okay? Money laundering is the sometimes extend to US, correct? Yes. Thanks, Joseph. Money laundering is the process used to disguise the source of money or assets derived from criminal activity, the proceeds of crime. Profit-motivated crimes span a variety of illegal activities, including illicit sex trade, drug trafficking, smuggling, fraud, extortion, scams, corruption, you name it. Now, why does it matter? When you have weak controls in place, it facilitates corruption, destabilizes the economies of countries, undermining the legitimate private sector, compromises the integrity of legitimate financial system and institutions, gives organized crime the funds it needs to conduct further criminal activities, and I am not talking about the social cost. Okay? There are 3 stages to money laundering. It's placement, layering, and integration. Placement involves placing the proceeds of crime in the financial system. Layering involves converting the proceeds of crime into another form and creating complex layers of financial transactions to disguise the audit trail and the source and ownership of the funds. And then comes the integration, where this involves placing the laundered proceeds back into the economy under the veil of legitimacy. So you go, you launder the money, you buy the new assets, which are clean, okay? And this is how it looks like. Dirty money comes to the bank, you play with the money from bank to bank, crypto maybe, and then you integrate back into the economy. Why it matters? Money laundering funds terrorism, human trafficking, weapons trades, drug trafficking. And you do not want your platform to be a bridge in that flow, okay? I would like to show this to you. A question that is being asked, is the world less safe to live in due to the organized crime? Yes, but it's complicated. Funny statistics. Organized crime is increasing. It's not decreasing these days. Okay? The world is more criminally connected and corrupted, but not necessarily more violent for the average person in a safe region like Canada, Europe, maybe USA, Japan. So as for the global trends, when you look into it, organized crime is increasing. There are more drugs, more cybercrime, more corruption, trafficking, environmental destruction. However, the personal violence has been decreasing. Compared to 30 years ago, it's highly unlikely that you would be mobbed or murdered, okay? So the organized crime went into another layer and another way conducting the crime. So how organized crime affects everyone, even in a safe place, even in a country like Canada or USA, okay? The organized crime extends far beyond street violence. Its effects are often indirect but deeply damaging, like drug death. We have opioid problem here in Canada. Housing market inflation. I don't know who is in Canada, whoever joined today, but it's difficult to buy a house these days. Corrupted politicians, politics, environmental destructions. The world is safer in some ways, but more fragile. And this is very interesting thing to actually mention. Safer, you're less likely to be murdered today, but less safe because it's more likely to be affected by cybercrime, drug-related harm, corrupt governments where your rights are not protected, global crises fueled by illicit markets. Okay, so let's get into some interesting stuff. There are two core forces driving human behavior. It's actually sex and greed, or love and greed. Okay, I would like to bring up some interesting stuff. Common crypto scams is one of them. There are several of these. Okay, so rug pulls is one of them. Romance scams and fake investment groups are another one. Social engineering via Discord, Telegram, Ponzi tokens, and manipulative tokenomics are another layers of different types of illicit activity that currently exist. Why did I bring up this part? And you would understand it in a moment. Because each driving force of a human behavior is tailored towards a specific illicit activity. Okay? Let me show you something. And this is where the fun begins. I don't know who actually saw Bird Eye or knows what Bird Eye is. This is a DeFi protocol / platform where you can actually swap tokens. And you can list these tokens as well. This is on a Solana network. Look here, this one specifically, IBRL, it increased 503%. Let's have a look at this token. And it increased from 7 a.m. today, went up to 500% to 0.06 cents. It was previously 0.001 or so, right? And now it's going down, okay? So, and this is just a random token that I just saw. I'm not really sure 100% whether this one is legitimate or not, but let's assess it together. Now, when you look into this as a DeFi protocol, it's very simple. You connect your wallet, a Phantom wallet, Ledger wallet, Backpack wallet, you name it. And then you can just swap the tokens, okay? Now, this one is a very good indication of a rug pull, okay? It's too good to be true. So when I look into to see what's going on with this one, we already have identified issues there on the platform. Ownership is renounced, so we don't know who is behind of this token. We also see that top 10 holders are holding large portion of the supply. This is one of those indicators of a potential rug pull. What is rug pull? Is when they inflate the price of a specific token to the point where people invest in it, and they pull the rug, so they sell their portion and kill the liquidity of the token. A lot of people that invested would have $0, and people who did the rug pull would make millions of dollars. Okay, so there are a lot of techniques here when you investigate within the DeFi's and DeFi protocols to see and assess and analyze whether these are okay or not. I'll give you one example. Let's have a look at the token that is identified by the lister of this token and analyze it on a soul scan. We come to soul scan. And we try to see what's going on with this wallet. So market cap is 45 million at this point. Current supply is 1 billion, right? So every several seconds, there is a transaction happening on this current wallet right now. And there are 102,000 transfers. I don't know how you feel about it, and I'm not sure if I'm right or not, whether this would be a rug pull or not at this point of time, but I can confirm that this is actually indicative of a wash trading of a token. Okay? So when I go deeper and try to analyze what's going on, I can have a lot of analytics. The best part of this is that it's on a public ledger, so we can actually see what's going on and understand whether this would be an investment worth our time. Okay? So this is one of the smallest dark sides of a DeFi. Okay? Here. Do we have any questions? Okay, we don't. Feel free to put them in the chat, guys. I'll stop periodically to answer them for you, okay? So this is just one example that I gave. Another one is the I was investigating this today. Donald J. Trump, or Chump. I don't know if you heard of that one before, but 99% of the value of the token was lost within the first week. Okay, so it just dropped drastically. It was an indication of a rug pull. Or another one is Libra, the Argentinian president, the one that did the token, and then a lot of people liked them. Probably the people behind did the rug pull, and the price of the token collapsed drastically. Okay, let's go forward. Now, another thing is red flags. Let's talk about red flags a bit. One of the red flags when it comes to being part of the overall economy and community of the blockchain and crypto and DeFi is that a lot of people value pseudonymity. So they like not to be known who they are. So no KYC or anonymous founders would be part of the illicit actors. So they are techy enough, they put a lot of interesting tokens, they make a lot of marketing, and then they run. No one knows who they are. So let me show you an interesting one as well. I don't know how many of you would have a Phantom wallet, okay? However, look here, a simple example of a interesting case, okay? Looks okay, right? So when you look at the website, looks like Phantom. Everything is okay. You have security, you have some links, this and that, right? Your trusted companion. You open a Telegram. Let's open a Telegram. See if we can actually find them. They're no longer there. Let's go back. Okay. Page not found. Oh, it was taken down just now. Okay. Anyway, this is good actually. Just got taken down because this was a phishing attempt to get your secret phrase for your Phantom wallet. They would advertise this on a Telegram channel, and they would say that, hey, if you have a problem, go here, and we'll fix it for you automatically. You put your phrase, and you get your Phantom wallet drained whatsoever, like really quick. Let me try to open it again. See if it works. Now here it is. See, you click on fix issue. Let's see if it would work. Ta-da! You put your secret phrase here of the Phantom wallet, and they will just drain your accounts, like literally drain. Okay. Anyway, interesting case. Just wanted to share with you, and this is part of the DeFi. Okay, what is romance scam? Let's go back to the human factors. As I mentioned, sex and love, right? So people are constantly looking for love, and this is why romance scams are happening. People are looking for a relationship. They're in a vulnerable situation of some sort. Maybe they lost their loved one or a divorce of some sort, right? And they inadvertently get into a situation where someone would contact them, will get into a relationship, establish a relationship, and then they will drain their accounts, okay? This is one of the reasons why we have romance scam, a human factor, which is love and sex, okay? How perpetrators operate for these instances. Tactics that are used, there are fake profiles on dating sites, social media, stolen photos, and fictitious identities. Contact initiated online with carefully scripted interactions. They are building the trust, frequent communication to build emotional connection, sharing false personal stories to create empathy, and then they drain their accounts, okay? Vulnerable demographic that usually falls into victims for these are elderly, or again, people that had sudden loss or any sort of a difficult situation in life. And In Canada, we have a special project name for it. It's called Project Chameleon. So, common victim traits for romance scams: often older individuals, senior, widowed, divorced, as I mentioned, has never met or seen the fraudster in real life. The indicators are evasive or vague responses about the transaction purpose, shares minimal information, or avoids questions. And the reason why I brought all of this up is because majority of the cryptocurrency that are moved, they are moved through the bridges of DeFi. And now let's see what's going on with it. How do we stop this? Okay. Remember that data is our weapon. Blockchain is public. We use it like a search engine. Wallet clustering, behavior flags, anomaly detection, transaction monitoring that can be used, and blockchain analytics tools that are there are usually very helpful for these instances. Okay. Now, let's give you some data really quickly. 40.9 billion received by known illicit addresses, and it's projected to exceed 51 billion with updated data. This is 2024. 63% of illicit volume now in stable coins. It is overtaking Bitcoin. Illicit share of crypto transactions is 0.14%. What this means is that it's still considered to be a very safe financial instrument. Okay. Perfect. Some statistics that I got from a very well-known crypto analytics firm, Chainalysis. As you can see, 2021, we collectively lost approximately 26.5 billion. 22 was really big, 54 billion. 46 billion 2023. And 2024, we expect to have 51 to maybe 55 billion. However, the amount of transactions and amount of the community members probably doubled since then. So when you look into the percentage wise, you would see that it's still considered to be very low. Share of all crypto transaction volume associated with illicit activity. As you can see, as I've mentioned, 2020 was approximately 70%. Now it's actually 0.7%. Now it's 0.14. Okay. Criminal innovation and infrastructure. Rise of professionalized crime services. Your rain guarantee is one of them. AI used in scams, deepfakes, fake identities, fake content. Growth of laundering as a service platforms. Currently, professional money launderers are officially marketing their services to help launder money. Okay. And now I would like to come back really quickly and talk about the other human factor, which is the greed. Usually that human factor is tailored towards scams that are associated with what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. People that are greedy, they see that they might be a 40% revenue year over year with 210% in number of deposits, and victims are lured because they're greedy to invest into these, and they lose money, easy as this. I'll show you a couple of examples for you. At the first glance, you see a normal website where you can trade cryptocurrency or fiat. Everything looks okay. They have some disclaimers here and there, but at the same time, when you come back and you look deeper into the website, how it structures, you would see that there are some inconsistencies. For example, one of them that is very well known within the community is the account types. Dear attendees, whenever you see this is a scam. Okay, it's like simple as this. When you see that they have a bronze, silver, gold, platinum, or VIP, non-VIP, or extra VIP, this is problematic. Okay, so this is just one example that I wanted to show you. You would see that there are a lot of indicators. I don't want to waste a lot of time on it, but when you search the phrases that are found in the text, you would see this is a total copy paste from another legitimate website. Okay. go forward. Money laundering trends. Illicit funds increasingly move through DeFi today. It happens. Okay. Stable coins are another thing that are evolving right now. Stable coins are taking over traditional cryptocurrencies that we are well aware of. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Stable coins are more likely to be used for illicit activity these days, and they're much more difficult to actually trace and do investigations on. Other notable crime types: stolen funds, 2.2 billion in 2024, 61% attributed to North Korea. Fraud shops down to 50% due to UAPS takedown. Ransomware remains active but less profitable. Ransomware trends I would like to share for 2024. They actually fell to 35% year over year to 813.5 million. Less than 50% of incidents resulted in payments. Payment volume dropped 34.9 in the quarter 2 2024. Top strains are Akira, only one to grow, Lockbit, Disrupted, Black Cat, Exit Scam. And this is the graph that shows that overall we're trending okay. So what that means is it's decreasing. However, it's still a big problem. We might not know the true data associated with the cybercrime. Okay. So what do we do when we get the ransomware? Again, main channels still are centralized exchanges, personal wallets, cross-chain bridges, and DeFi. DeFi is one of them. DeFi is one of the most effective way for you to layer the funds. Okay, layering activity is typically done through the bridges of DeFi. One of the reasons is that you don't have KYC, and I'm going to talk about it right now. One of the main problems of DeFi is that DeFi operates outside the scope of the centralized regulation, which has benefits and problems at the same time. Problem is that facilitates money laundering, fraud, and tax evasion. Good thing is it encourages innovation. So risks are that increasing scrutiny from regulators like SEC, CFTC, FATF, other regulators like MFSA in Malta, MiCA in Europe, FinTrack in Canada, OSC, Ontario Securities Commission, so on, right? They limit the ability for these platforms to evolve and develop or progress at some degree. However, at the same time, it protects the public in general, right? On top of all that, it creates an opportunity for illicit actor to use this platform as one of the reasons it being a convenient tool for money launderer is that you don't do KYC on this because it's decentralized. You don't need to. It's not under the scope of the regulator for you to conduct the ascertaining identity of the client, if it makes sense. For example, declining use of the no KYC exchanges post that interesting data that we have is in 2024, the German government seized 47 unregistered platforms, and that decreased in a very short period of time the amount of illicit activity that was happening through exchanges that had no KYC regime in place. So what are the no KYC exchanges? These are platforms that allow users to trade, deposit, and withdraw crypto without requiring identity verification, commonly used for anonymity and privacy-focused transactions. Why they exist? Regulatory arbitrage is the term. Operating in the jurisdictions with lax or unclear crypto regulations. Okay? Market demand for privacy attracts users seeking to avoid surveillance or financial restrictions. So these are perfect for money launderers. Okay. Another problem that we currently face is the market manipulation in DeFi. Suspected worst trading volume 2024. Let's talk about it. Total estimate is 2.57 billion across ETH, BNB chain, and Base. Heuristic 1, 704 million via repeated batch trades. Heuristic 2, 1.87 billion via token multi-centers across thousands of wallets. Most wash trades are highly concentrated within the few actors and few pools. Top wallets, 54,684 trades across 241 pools, giving a 17.3 million volume, okay? And we had an instance where one controller managed 22,000 addresses, conducting $313 million in fake trades. This is worst trade. They just artificially increase the trading volume for a specific token. And since it's crypto, since it's DeFi, we don't know who that is. And on top of it, even if we do, like we won't be able to properly identify and or find them, okay? Because they might say whoever they are, but we won't be able to find them. And on top of it, the fees associated, since it's crypto, is very minor. Probably for conducting this $313 million worth of trades, it costed them a couple of $1,000. Okay. There is also a tool specifically designed for this. For example, Volume.li offers bots to stimulate fake liquidity on DEXs. Now, bots perform rapid buy and sell loops to boost token visibility in rankings. An example would be the Chomp token. 43% of the trading volume was fake. So they artificially increased the price and they rug pulled. Okay. Pump and dump schemes are one of them as part of the overall wash trading and DeFi. 2 million plus tokens launched last year in 2024. 873,000 listed on DEXs. Only 1.7% actively traded within 30 days. 3.59% or 74,000 of tokens flagged for pump and dump activity. So scam mechanics are very simple. Creator hypes the token, inflates the volume via wash trading, dumps the holding. 94% of rug pulls traced back to token pool creator. Most dumps occur within 6 to 7 days of launch. So some more statistics for you. 9.9 billion in non-scam inflows, likely to surpass 12 billion with the future attributions. Pig butchering revenue up to 40% year over year. 210% growth in pig butchering deposits, but average value down 55%. Top scam types are pig butchering, high-yield investment schemes, employment scams, crypto drainers, address poisoning, and sextortion. This is the graph taken from Chainalysis. So I'm gonna skip this. This one is very important because we're short on time. I want to finish it up. AI-powered fraud is another thing that is widely used in DeFi. 85% of scams involve fully verified fake accounts. These fake accounts are required for you to breach your DeFi to centralized exchanges, where you can easily convert some of your cryptocurrency that you stole coming from DeFi to fiat and integrate it back into the legitimate economy. Okay? And it's widespread. You have deep fakes, you have fake identities, fake websites. They use social engineering as a scale, APP fraud becoming more common, and so on. And this is the cumulative amount of funds stolen by year. As you can see, the green one is the 2024. It's gradually decreasing. However, it's still there. Okay. Do you have any questions, by the way? Or not a scam, Joseph. Okay, no more questions. Right. So we're almost done, by the way. Another thing I wanted to show you is the hacker off-ramping trends. Private key exploiters use mixers like Tornado Cash, which is shut down right now, which is good. Cross-chain bridges, one type of crypto to the other. If you have some sort of a loophole to convert one to the other, it kind of obscures the trace and is difficult to investigate. Other hackers prefer DEXs for laundering as well. So let me show you one more example before we finish it up. We can do like a simple one, I guess, coming into a bird eye game, I guess we can do. Here, let's go here to see what we have, a brand new one, okay? All chains. And trending tokens. Let's try house, 25%. This one seems to be legitimate. As you can see here, I'm just showing this to you. Top holders have 14%. There is 24,000 almost holders for this token. So this tells me that there is a possibility that this one might not be a scam, okay, or a rug pull. And we can investigate it further, but I want to leave this one for now. Let's find something more interesting here. Another one, Flipcoin, 25,000%. Look at this. It started at 8:30, May 20th. Okay, so yesterday about 8:30. It started with 0.04 more zeros, 9. Increased to 0.309 again, so it multiplied by about 100. So if you had put the $1,000 at this point of time here, you would have about 100,000. $10,000, and then it actually went up to 0.001. So these tokens within the last 24 hours had increased for 23,000%. Okay. Imagine what would you do if you would have put the $1,000 of this token, bought the $1,000 of this token here somewhere at about 8:30 yesterday. Okay, this would increase your holdings to 23,000%. Now the problem is that you might not be able to even sell it while the rug pull is happening because they might have a liquidity problem. Now, when you look into it, 22% of the whole liquidity or the whole tokens is owned by 10 holders. So 10 people hold 22% of it. You have about 2,000 holders of the token. Might be them as well. You cannot really verify it, right? Now let's have a look at the address that we have, which is this one. 10 sec. Let's copy the address. Let's come to Soul Scan. And let's understand what is happening with it. So market cap is $1.2 million, billion dollars actually. No, $1 million. At 0.01 buck for each, you see that you have 71,000 transfers within 24 hours for 2,800 people that potentially hold it. Do you see what is happening? So there was trading. They're just artificially increasing the trading volume. This would be potentially a rug pull, okay? And when you look into the holders, these are the holders that own majority of the tokens, about 20%. Okay, I think we're coming close to the end. Right, so what this means for DeFi compliance. Platforms must prioritize anything that they can to mitigate. So know your client is one of them. if you can take reasonable measures to identify who the individuals are, that would be super helpful. Or at least have transaction monitoring in place and request verification only in cases if you are running a DeFi protocol or a DeFi platform. Request these when you have reasonable grounds to suspect that something is not right. Private key management is another one. Rigorous due diligence on hires, especially when you are you're building one. You need to make sure that you have ethical and people with good intentions working within your team. And at the end is cross-sector collaboration. Law enforcement's crypto platforms is critical, and the community in general. If you have some information, share it. There are very good mechanisms right now through Crypto Defenders Alliance, through other channels, through the community, through the compliance community, that you can share some information. At the end, I just want to add that our occupation is not glamorous at all, but it is somewhat heroic. We quietly stop bad actors without applause. We protect real people from devastating losses. We help Web3 stay Web3 without being shut down. The truth is, though, that at one point or another, most of us end up hating this job deep down. So you can't really do this for long. That's pretty much it from my side. Whoever is in here right now, just want to advise that we would have these sessions ongoingly every month. Next one would be June 25th. We anticipate it would be again on the Eventbrite. We would like to speak about the crypto compliance as a career path. By the way, we have a grammatical error there. Career path, not careers path. How to find a job in crypto compliance. I would like to share some insights of what you need to look into, what you need to do to assist and prepare the next generation of professionals within the space. So please sign up and join. Meanwhile, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate your attendance, and I do hope that you found a lot of value through this informative session. I hope you'd have a great day. If you have more questions, you can ask. By the way, I'll stay for a couple more minutes. Thanks, Sam. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming. Appreciate. Right. Let's end this session. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. Lynn McConnell. Yes, we would be sharing this video material as well. I don't know if we would be sharing the presentation, but transcripts would be there. Yes. It would be available on our YouTube channel. Please sign up. So, and reach out if you have any questions, Lynn. Yeah. Thank you. Right, we can stop the recording, I think. Okay.